Okay. Hello. Welcome to our movie club. We continue with Better Than Us. And I see the nice acronym teacher invented. BTU. Better Than Us, right? So we now have a short name for this. Okay, episode 7. Actually, I don't know. We will discuss it later, but I did not enjoy much of this episode. I think not much happened. Probably because of this, we will have a short class, which is fine, I think. Whoa, anyone new from characters list?
Mikhailovich.
Mikhailovich. Yeah, we pronounce it this way. I don't know how it's in English. Mikhailovich. And what does
the movie pronounced it Mikhailovich.
Mikhailovich, okay.
In the series, yeah.
Well, what does it mean, Mikhailovich?
It means your father was named Mikhail.
Mikhail, yeah. So usually, so we have this, how it's called usually, paternal name,
paternal name, I guess.
Yeah. So in Russia, we have like 3 names. So first name, last name, and middle name, which is your father's name, but with some suffix ich. So Ivan ich, Mikhail ich, Sergei ich, or something like this. So, and it's interesting. When you want to be polite and talking to your boss, you use a kind of full name, right? You say Ivan Mikhailovich, let's say. So boss names. So you pay respect by this. But if you say we are friends, we are close, we are on par, we are colleagues, but I want to pay respect, I call you by middle name. So it's kind of an idea. And people who has a lot of reputation, old people, something. So we use middle name for them as always, So Ivanich, Mikhailovich, Sergeyich, it means that you have some reputation. So that's cultural background.
Okay.
So Ivan,
yes.
Ivan, you're saying, CH is pronounced like lich.
Yeah, we pronounce it this way. Probably it's different in Netflix, but originally we use it like ich. I don't know.
So it's not phonetic. Russia is not phonetic language.
What does it mean? It means that we always read what we write? That is phonetic?
You don't pronounce it like it's written.
But we don't use English alphabet at all. So it's just, transcript or something. So in our alphabet, it's phonetic, so because we have different symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So it's transcription because that's why it's different.
Yeah, when you say phonetic, in Swedish, J is pronounced like a Y. Jorgen. I would say Jorgen. He pronounces his name Jorgen. So you can't say that it's not a phonetic language. It just has different phonetics than English.
I saw the question is, that some languages you can read a word without knowing it. So you just literally pronounce what is written and it's correct pronunciation. It's not like in English, right? In English, you never know.
Yeah.
In Russian, you always know. So in Russian, you just read all these sounds and it will be exactly the pronunciation. So that's phonetic, maybe. I guess. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay, let's go to the questions. Angel, please help us with the first one.
Can you share the screen?
Oh, I forgot to share the screen. Sorry.
How many alphabets are in Russia?
It's special Russian alphabet. We call it Cyrllic, because the man who invented it was Kirill. So it's Cyrllic.
How many? Because in English we have it.
How many letters?
33. 33.
Huh?
So English has 26. We have 33. So more phonemes. More symbols. Can you see questions now?
Yeah, zoom as big as you can, Ivan.
Okay.
If you can.
Yeah, I can enlarge.
Especially zoom in, make it bigger, or zoom out. What should we say?
Zoom in gets closer.
Okay. Zoom out, smaller.
Zoom out gets farther. So to make it larger, you got to zoom in.
And yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Is it any better?
Yeah.
Okay. Please,
Okay.
Angel.
Okay. Describe why Allah was accosted by Victor's men on the bridge where she had stopped to get out and think. She was trying to run away, and then those men stopped her and took her back to Vic because he wasn't happy of her, final decision. Yeah, because he broke the agreement they had. So, and then he told her that she's useless. They don't need her anymore. Yeah, that's what I remember.
So why, if they don't need her anymore, why they did not allow her to go to Australia?
Why didn't they kill her? Immediately. I thought I thought they would kill her because they say you're useless. We don't need you anymore. You are in our way. So, yeah. Then after that, they asked her to teach Arisa cooking.
Yeah, strange, right? So what I would expect, if you're useless, so you can go to Australia, right? I don't need you anymore. But probably they need her anyway for, to present this family.
In a probation, teacher in a probation? Or can I say she's in a probation? Is that probation?
On a probation?
On probation.
Yes, this one.
Correct. She's on probation to behave. She's supposed to be part of a happily family that enjoy Arisa so much. And if she runs away, it looks bad for the advertising campaign.
Okay, so it's kind of making her situation even worse, right? So now her new uncle Leo will be angry, I think, right? So how to understand this behavior? Yeah, Nesma, would you like to add something?
The second one, you mean?
Oh yeah, please.
Okay. Describe the incident where Igor and Jenna go to see Kirill's parents. So by now we are used to the dumb actions from Igor. So he's brave enough to go meet the parents of Kirill to deliver them a message he left Kirill, I mean. So when they went there, they started to tell the mother that Kirill is fine. He left the country and he's now good, stuff like that. But it turned out that Kirill was killed. So it looks like the parents didn't know about the liquidators. They didn't know that their son used to work with them. So because they kind of cooperated with the police, and they wanted Igor to come with them as a witness. But he ran away. Igor and Jenna.
Yeah, well, it must be a big deal, right? So now they understand that no one is safe, right? So they try to protect one of the member, but he got killed, right? So next time, if it will be me, right, no one will save me. They will kill me.
Yeah.
I think it's a big change, right?
Yeah, this is a kind of we're not used to see this in movies. A gangster kills his own men. This is kind of strange, actually.
Well, they do this many times, when they want to hide evidence, right? Or hide a rat, can I say so? A rat or someone who spoke with police. So that was the reason, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Not to give any evidence.
Yeah, they were afraid that Kirill was weak, and if he got arrested again, he might reveal secrets. Yep. So they didn't trust Kirill. That's why they eliminated him. He was a risk that they didn't want to take.
Yeah, but again, it's still bad for team building, right? So
yeah.
So initially, I just want to say, initially they agreed to keep Kirill, his name, I don't know, under the radio, right?
Radar.
But then radar, yes, under the radar. Then they killed him. But why did they kill him? They could have, I mean, kept him with them to walk with them.
Yeah, but that's a burden. If you've got to sit there and babysit someone all the time, that's a burden.
Yep.
Yeah.
He wanted to confess in the police station, as I remember now. He told them about the event. He said, we're going to hold an event tonight.
That was a trick. That was a trick. That was a lie.
Oh,
Which
really?
lie?
He did not betray them. He was loyal to them. But they still didn't trust him.
Yep.
I don't know why.
They are gang for a reason.
Well, remember, he did want to tell his mom. So that was his weakness, I think. I got to tell my mom. I worry about my mom. Say, we're your mom now. Forget your mom. No, I can't forget my mom. That was why he got killed. He was weak in that regard.
And he might snitch on them.
He did not snitch, no.
Yeah. But Gleb seems to insist, right, that he's a snitch. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Gleb didn't trust him, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. Vova, could you help us with number 3?
Describe the initial demonstration where Victor and Maslov train Arisa how to defend against a knife attack. George and Arisa came to see Victor because they need to practice for the tender.
And what happened?
And they needed to learn. They needed to teach Arisa how to
Defend? Yeah.
Defend a human and attack a human.
But I think it wasn't actually teach her. It was kind of a test her, right? So she knew already before that.
Well, they didn't know that, so they were looking for opportunities to coach her, probably to be less violent, you know. But she performed well.
Okay, and who was the first opponent of Arisa?
Some trained men.
Some kind of professional, right? What happened?
She defeated him.
In a brutal manner, right? So he was kind of in heart, right? He was injured. Okay, what next? But
then they say that Georgie need to present Arisa on the tender, so they gave the knife to Georgie.
What happened?
But Arisa didn't think he was a hero's head.
Yeah, so and she disarmed him, right?
But yeah, she disarmed him, but very light.
Very gently, yeah. Good, okay.
He wasn't hurt.
Well, yes. Well, the whole scene is strange, right? Well, what do you think? So why do you need a robot, fighting against a knife attack? It's, I don't know. I don't understand. Do you understand why?
No.
So knife attack, so it's strange, so.
Why strange? And if you remember, when Liquidator attacked some robots in the first or on the second episodes, they used knives for removing chip.
Yeah. But still, still something strange, so to have a robot trained against, some kind of bodyguard, some kind of, I don't know. Yeah, and for tender and for this competition, I don't know. I don't buy it, actually.
Well, I can see advertising that your maid robot can also protect your life against a threat. You know, that's an added benefit or selling point.
I think it was logical because they want to show their robots from other side, security, environment, cooking, some behavior, and the nice attack is the part of security, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of cute that they told Georgie attack her, so he walks up to her, and here she is, and he holds a knife right to her chest, and she does nothing.
Yeah.
Because she knows he's not going to hurt her.
She's a primary user, right? Maybe he has a right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, as Nesma said, we used to Yegor, what was the word? Stupid behavior, right? Angel, could you help us with number 4?
Okay. Describe Igor's first attempt to get Arisa to go with him to botnet without telling his parents. They all were in the living room, and Igor was, I guess, playing, games or something. Then, all of a sudden, he stormed out, leaving the place, and then Arisa went to him, asking him whether or not he's angry. Then he told her yes. Then they discuss about love and hatred maybe. And then he asked her to go with him to the club without telling his parents. But she refused, and she said she can't lie. Or what's the point of lying to your parents? This way.
And do you remember the important part, right? He said, don't lie to them, right? Just don't tell them. So something like this, right? So
yeah, if you don't tell them, that's not a lie.
Yeah, I think it's interesting point, right? So many people use this, I never lie to you. I just, don't keep you informed, about it.
But why did he want to take Risa? Those botnet wants to, take out the chip in the Risa. They want to kill her. Is that the reason? Liquidate.
Remember that they kicked him out of bot.net. Remember that?
Yeah.
Gleb told Bars, don't associate with Igor.
Yeah.
And later, Bars found out that Arisa was staying with Igor. So Bars invited Igor back into the club. And he said, bring Arisa to the club. We want to meet her. We want to see how wonderful she is. So they tricked Igor into bringing Arisa in. So Igor thought if he did that, he would gain credit with Bars. But Bars really wanted to kill the robot. So again, Igor's being stupid.
He's dumb. Yeah.
And Igor's and Georgie forbade Igor from going to bot.net. So he's not allowed to go there. So if he goes there, he can't have Arisa tell Georgie, hey, I'm going with Igor to bot.net. He doesn't want his parents to know this.
Sergey and Lysans, don't be quiet. If you want to answer something, raise your hand or give me a signal or something. Yeah. Lysans, would you like to answer number 5?
Let me check my mic. Is that okay?
Yes, fine.
Okay. Number 5. When Grandma tells Boss that Kirill was murdered, part of Boss. Boss was shocked because he didn't know that Kirill was murdered, and he was the last person to send him, send him off. So he was furious and decided to ask about Kirill to the boss, the man who assigned them tasks. Yeah, that's what happened.
Notice there's a movie technique here. When Boris heard that Kirill was murdered, Boris didn't show any emotion. He didn't say that he knew. He didn't say that he didn't know. So he kind of acted guilty, like, oh, I know that. But later we find out he didn't know that. So, but they had to make him look guilty initially by not showing any surprise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So trying to mislead us, I think. You know what I mean, Ivan?
Yeah. So now he's kind of gang members. He not happy with Bars, right? He thinks that he's a traitor for them, or he knew something. I think that's the idea.
Well, the idea, the problem Boris had was Kirill was a member of the Liquidators, which Gleb kind of controls, but Kirill was a member of Bar's group, and Gleb didn't give Bars the courtesy of saying, hey, by the way, I'm going to kill one of your group, okay? Is that okay with you? Gleb didn't inform him or didn't get permission from him. He just killed one of Bars's group without the courtesy of telling Bars. So that's what pissed off Bars.
And I remember he was saying, or it was written in the synopsis, that the mission is more important than any member, right? So, while it's very Russian approach, so human life is is nothing according to to the mission. So yeah, I can understand this.
Yeah.
Sergey?
The mission.
Sergey, do you like?
Yeah, I want to answer to number 6.
6, please.
Describe the events where Allah tries to teach Arisa to cook. Chief serving customers. It was funny because it was true. As I think, the first attempt was when they tried to cook with the chief of some cafe or restaurant, and Arisa commits to teach the chief, we have to avoid this fatty sauce because it's not unhealthy. And we have to remove some ingredients because it's not unhealthy. Please go out from my cook. And next episode, when Arisa stay beside of top tender, and one guy came and please, and I want to something, and 2 donuts. And donuts are very unhealthy because they are cooking inside the oil 140 degrees of Celsius. Please take some other products, sorbet from pumpkin, because it is more delicious and more healthy. Okay, but with from my side it's okay because you had some useful information about products. Maybe you didn't know yet before it, and lady explained the causes why you have to eat more healthy food. Okay, no problem, and I make some consequences and I go. But next came fat lady, and she wanted some buy pasta, some fat sauces, something else. And Arisa started to explain again. I checked your body and I check your health, and you don't look healthy, and you have to avoid some fat products because you have some bad consequences for you. What do you say? You and in for me looks like I don't know. I want a problem with YouTube in the future, but for me it looks like a usual woman's reaction because looking for women very important, and you have to avoid to describe some features of women's looks. But it was funny to be honest.
Yeah, so there is some kind of term for this, affluent white female or something like this. So I forgot the exact term, but it's describing of this behavior. But Sergey, I have a question for you. It was a cafeteria, right? It wasn't a doctor office, right? So
Yeah.
I think that her behavior, I mean Arisa behavior, wasn't appropriate in cafeteria, So let's say I'm going to buy a car. I go there and customer service tell me, you are too poor for this car, this car is is expensive,
Yes, I agree. I agree with you. According to the work, according to the place, Arisa has to reach more selling level, and she has to buy more and more because she's the seller. But she didn't have the seller skills. She didn't know how to communicate, and she didn't know that she has to go to sell more. She understood that she has to explain, she has to communicate with the people and to explain some features of food.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I think it's very good if you are a seller and you're a professional one. So if I go there and say, and let's say I ask, give me some healthy options. So I open to your, advice. Please, okay, lead lecture me, what can I buy? But if I go there and say, give me 2 fat sausages, with a lot of mustard on them and 2 beers, the last thing I expect, and being lectured about of I'm doing
Yes,
something
I
wrong.
agree. I agree. And as I know, the healthy food is not pop popular so much popular. For example, in my city we have a lot of beer shops and a lot of cookies, a lot of bakeries, but we have only 2 shops with the healthy food
Okay.
without people every time.
Okay, let me show you my example. There is a lot of propaganda in Berlin about healthy food, about vegan food. So government pay millions for that to make people vegans. So what people do? They go to the concerts, which called is Go Vegan, and they grill their sausages here there. So they totally ignore this.
That's ironic.
Me too. Me too.
Okay.
People are people.
Yeah, people are going to be more rebellious, when you try to teach them, I think.
So this is a key episode because in this episode, Arisa evolves. Before this episode, her programming was protect humans, do what's good for humans. Humans should be given healthy food. You shouldn't lie to humans. She was very ethical. And in this episode, she learns you can't say that to the customer. You hurt her feelings. You've got to be tactful. You've got to be, gentle. You've got to give her what she wants to make her happy, and it's, if you don't tell them, it's not a lie, so she's learning some subtleties here that she's starting to become or learn how to be dishonest.
Yep. Why?
Albeit, Yeah, albeit for what she feels is a logical reason.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to follow kind of cultural protocol, right? So it's logical, you technically right, but you cannot say it there, right? In these circumstances, in this environment. So yeah, it's hard thing. Okay, should we speak about women's clothes? Keeping secrets. Nesma, can you help us with this?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. All right. So after the cafeteria training incident is over, what does Ella teach Arisa about women's clothes and keeping secrets, white lies? So the clothes was just an example for white lies. She wanted to teach Arisa that not everything should be told. Some ugly truths should be hidden, or maybe when it's offensive to others, we should just keep silent about that. And as an example to explain this was the clothes of Arisa. She said like her clothes were too short and too open, maybe something. And not, I mean, this is not for good women. And she should look up what decent women wear. But she chose the practical way. She went to Georgy as a man to ask him his opinion.
So what a woman should wear to be loved, right?
No, she should have said, "Why should I wear so you would love me?" She wanted to say this. She was seeking the love of Georgy.
So if you remember when she first met Sonia dressed her up like a baby doll. So she wore kind of like baby doll clothes. And then she found a picture of Allah in a nightgown. So then she wore kind of a nightgown around the house. And then she started dressing like Kronos's sex bots. So she doesn't have any concept of fashion. She just dresses like people tell her to dress. So now she's starting to learn, oh, there's a certain way that's acceptable in society. So she's learning subtleties in this episode.
Yeah, and we can see that she's able to learn, right? So she's changing her behavior. It's not like once programming, do forever, right? So she's constantly adjust the own settings. So it's it's interesting. Okay, boxing episode. Sergey, would you like to cover the boxing episode?
Yeah, I like the moment, and the policeman and his friends invite Arisa and Georgie for fight, for testing their theory. Could Arisa killed or beat somebody or not? Because the Georgie is not a relevant example. And they went to the gym where a policeman trained sometimes with his old friend, and the old friend asked policeman, "Please, could you invite some opponent from me?" And policeman answered, "Not, because you are very strong, but I have an idea." And they invited Arisa, and the big guy looked to her and, "What? It's Arisa. It's a lady. Please go. Please try to fight with her." And they fight moment, and it was very fast. Big guy started attack, and a part of second, and he was beaten on the floor, and he damaged her arm, and it was, "Whoa, what's problem with your arm? You broken his arm." No problem. It's
He have been in the worst situation, right? So I remember. So the arm is not a problem. Yeah.
yeah, and
So
I forgot how name the artificial arm.
Prosthetic,
Protest.
prosthetic arm. Yeah.
okay, recall that there were 2 visits to the boxing ring.
Mhm.
This is the first visit. In the first visit, they wanted to see Arisa attack Georgy or defend against Georgie's knife attack. So remember in the previous attacks, she disarmed him easily, you know.
Yeah.
This time she didn't even take the knife away. She just moved out of the way. And he couldn't hit her. She kept moving. So they said, "You're supposed to take the knife away." And she said, "It wasn't necessary." So she the mission was to take the knife away, but to her, the mission was don't get harmed. So she kind of modified the mission to be don't let him hurt me. If I try to take the knife away, I might hurt him. But if I just move out of the way, there's no danger of me hurting him. So she is modifying her orders with her own mission, if you will. So that was the first visit. The second visit, Sergey, you mentioned, he fought the boxer. Now, in the boxer fight, she knocked the man down and, quote, hurt him, okay? And they said, "Oh, my God, she attacked a human. She hurt a human." Well, she damaged his robot arm. So in her mind, she didn't hurt a human. She just broke off a piece of mechanical machinery.
Yeah.
But they jumped on it and said, "Oh, she attacked a human. She doesn't follow the 3 laws of robotics." Not necessarily. In her mind, she didn't hurt the human. She hurt his mechanical arm.
Yeah, interesting point. Yeah. So where you kind of draw this line, right? So where is the heart in it starts, right? Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a good part of this episode. Okay. What about Arisa's visit to botnet? Angel, would you like to cover this? Number 9.
Because describe the events that follow after Risa tells Ego that she will go with him to botnet without his parents. She went with him after he broke up with Zana.
Mm-hmm.
So she tried to amend the relationship, and once they go to that club, there was it was crowded, and then Risa gave a hand, tried to help them surfing the customers.
Yeah. Do you remember was she good as a barman? As a bartender, was she good?
What did you say?
Arisa worked as a bartender for a bit, right?
Yes, person. Yeah.
Was she good at this job, or she started to lecture people? You know, what is
And so to
right?
surfing. Yeah, she was, and she was. I mean, speaking with the man, I guess, who told her about his girlfriend and something like that. And once she left, she asked her to give him her number.
Okay, so initially she was cold and unfriendly. "Here's your cocktail," and walked away. And the guy wants someone to talk to. He's sad, he's depressed, he wants to talk to her, and she just walks away. And Striga, one of the members, said, "Hey, you're making the customers angry. You're supposed to listen to their problems."
Yeah.
So then she went back and she sat there and she listened to him talk, and he felt better. So she started learning to be, sympathetic. and Jana was watching her learn to be more human. So Jana started liking her, even though she was a robot. Jana told Boris later, remember, she's not like other robots. She's nice.
Yeah.
She's nice.
You know, usually I have seen this stereotype about a bartender who speaks with clients all the time in the movies. In my real life, you know, I visit like thousands of bars. I never see such a bartender. You know?
I agree.
Yeah. If you remember the movie Passengers with the robot bartender, his job was to listen and be sympathetic and nod and give you sage advice. Yeah.
The bartender doesn't have, time to listen to people's problems or customers' problems because they have to work, quickly to serve the customers.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we answered a few more questions.
You may have missed something that happened here, okay? When Boris came in and saw Arisa, what was his reaction?
He was furious.
He was angry. What is she doing here? She's a robot. Oh, we kill robots. And he immediately grabbed a screwdriver and he started walking towards Arisa. You may have missed that, but he pulled out a screwdriver and started walking towards Arisa. And what happened?
Then, his sister, Zana,
first
asked Igor to leave.
Igor stepped in his way and Igor said no.
Really?
And he started pushing Igor. And what did Igor do? Igor fought back. Igor was protecting Arisa.
Yeah, I missed that.
And Boris was angry, so that's when Jana had to grab Boris's face and say, calm down, leave, calm down. Yeah.
So, I guess Arisa could defend for herself.
She might have killed Boris, very likely. Might have just disarmed him now that she knows how to do that without hurting. But that was actually a pivotal point because Jana now likes a robot.
Yeah.
Igor defended the robot and Igor stood up for himself for the first time. He didn't yield to Boris. He said, no, you are not going to hurt Arisa. She's part of my family, So that was a subtle point that you may have missed.
Yeah. So the game changed, right? So they're kind of evolving characters.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we answered number 10 already, I think. Gleb and Kirill's murder. We answered number 11 as well. Should we add something to number 12 after defeat?
There is a good point to be made here. Remember that after she defeated the boxer and broke his prosthetic arm, they decided she can hurt humans. She isn't programmed with the 3 laws. And they said, so then that's when Georgy and Varlamov went to her and said, Arisa, have you ever killed a human before?
Yeah. They stopped beating around the bush, right?
Yeah, exactly. And what did she say?
She said, no, I would do it just to protect my family, but I've never done it. But why did she lie?
Well, because she's been learning through this whole episode that not telling the truth is not a lie necessarily, but she's also learning that people tell you how to dress doesn't mean that's really how you should dress. She's starting to learn that truth and lie are kind of, you have to weigh the two for the greatest benefit.
Yeah. So before this episode, we had a robot who is a killer, who is taught to, hide, and everything. But now this robot can lie, can hide evidences. So life is better now, I think. Sergey?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I want to add the same information that the Arisa was started to be as a people.
Yeah.
More and more intelligent, more and more empathy, and it was funny. But what's funny for me, policeman in Georgia started to ask Arisa about their previous lives, their previous potential murderer, and they asked her, and she answered them. And for me, it was the insight. That it was possible. Maybe they could ask her earlier, and she would answer them. But
yeah, you're right. So if they had an opportunity to ask her before, she would, she would. What's the word for this? Convinced, or not convinced, but what's the word for this?
Confessed.
Confessed that yes, I did.
Yeah. But in this episode, she's learned enough that she knows not to say yes now, because why? What would be bad about saying yes?
Yeah.
Why would she not say yes at this point in time with her evolution? Who can guess? What's her logical justification for telling a lie at this point?
Well, to protect her family, I guess.
Exactly. If she said yes, they would take her away and destroy her, and she could no longer fulfill her primary mission, which is to protect the family. So she lied to protect so she could continue to protect her family. So that's her logical justification for lying against her programming.
Yep. Nesma, you wanted to add? Not yet. Okay, so it was a.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Okay. And I think it was the answer for the last questions, right? So life lessons that Arisa got from the human beings, right? So she is now more human than before. She can lie. She can lie. She can behave to. Yeah, be better. Yeah, let's call it better.
She's way better than us.
Yeah.
She
Way
can be
better, not just better.
Yeah. She can be a sympathetic bartender. She can be tactful to fat ladies who want to eat whipped cream.
I'm glad that we discussed these questions. Thank you, Teacher Lee, because I think I missed a few points in this episode.
Yeah, there were a lot of subtleties, a lot of nuances.
Yeah. Sergey? Anything?
Yeah, and I remember one moment when the wife of Victor Toropov talked with his boss son, and she told him, and Vic Toropov doesn't love us, but we don't love too, and or I missed. Maybe the next episode. Maybe
I don't remember this.
I don't remember that either.
I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay, no spoilers, please. We have never seen. We did not watch yet the next episode.
But it's pretty clear that she doesn't love him. That's pretty clear.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were talking about healthy food, and when one morning George wanted to have the breakfast, Arisa was preparing something, and she put celery, cucumber, and something healthy food inside a mixer. And please drink it, and maybe not, maybe donuts.
Actually, it's a thing that I don't understand. Why healthy food should be ugly? That's always happened in the nature. No, I like my steak rare. I don't like cucumber. Sugar, yeah, exactly. Okay, let's make a few slides if we want to. I think. Sergey, could you please start? You just noticed it, right? This episode.
Yeah, and we can see the kitchen and a lot of fruits and grapes, apples, green apples, celery, and something green. I don't know what is it.
Yeah.
Something green. And Arisa is preparing smoothie, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this kitchen looks like a stylish with some planks, one paint, and good light.
Yeah, and
It's not. It is expensive, in my opinion.
yeah, it's not a typical kitchen that you can see in Russian apartment, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Way too posh
Yeah.
for us.
Notice everything on the table's green. Even the apples are green. I guess those are apples.
Yeah.
Grapes are green. Everything's green.
Please see the face of Georgy. He's not happy.
But I think it's exactly the face, of people who is forced to be vegan, right? So... Oh, do you agree?
Yeah.
Vova never tried vegan food, so I tried to give him something vegan for many times, but he always refused. Why, Vova?
I didn't like it.
Even a child cannot buy it. Okay. I don't know what let's change.
That was Kirill's mom.
Yeah. Okay, what about this one? Vova, could you please describe this? The surroundings, what can you see, what they're doing?
This is Igor and Jana, and they are fighting.
Probably.
And the bridge is very beautiful.
Do you think it's a bridge?
Maybe.
We call it an overpass.
Overpass, yeah. And it's a big intersection, right, actually? So it's many roads together, because on the left we can see a circle one, right? Circle ramp. Is it a ramp, I guess? And
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So it's a big intersection.
I see a train over there. I think
Train,
it's a train. And I think it is the same bridge Georgy wanted to jump.
Okay, could be. Because trains is here, yeah. And by the looking of the trains, I see that it's a high-speed train, right? Okay. What about the cars? Are they modern or...
The first one.
Yeah, the first one is it's called Lada. It's a very cheap Russian car. I used to have one when I was a student. It's the one about what about which type we joke that you need duct tape and a hammer to make it.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. It's worth talking a little bit about this picture. In major cities, there are we call these raised highways or overpasses. And as Ivan mentioned, when you have an intersection of a major highway and another major highway, there's two traffic patterns that we design. One is, I call it the diamond shape, where if you want to get off, you go this way. You want to get on, you go this way. And the overall thing looks kind of like a diamond.
Yeah.
That kind of design requires stoplights or traffic lights or red lights at the intersections of the diamond. The other design is called a clover leaf. It's a kind of plant leaf. And when you get off, instead of going like a diamond ramp to get off, you go this way and circle around and go this way and circle around and go this way. And you eventually, so it uses loops to turn.
Yeah.
So you have the diamond intersection and the clover leaf intersection that looks like a 4-leaf clover.
Yeah, actually, I remember that in Moscow we had a clover leaf intersections with additional clover leaf inside. So because there are so many roads, so we have a main clover leaf, then you have secondary clover leaf. Yeah, so
Wow.
it was a nightmare. Every time I get this road, I need a navigator. I cannot find it by myself. So where I go?
Yeah, you can easily get lost, like, because you're going in circles. You're looping around in a circle. It's easy to get lost. Which way am I going?
Very challenging, I'd say.
I don't know if you remember, a long time ago, there was a cartoon, an American cartoon called The Jetsons.
Mm-hmm.
And they were a future society. And they had highways like this. They had highways that went up in the air and looped around and went up and down and around. And this was back in 1960, before we had this. And
Nice.
the Jetsons, I remember that cartoon because it showed the future. It had robot maids. Rosie was their robot maid. And the cars, they had flying cars. And it was about the future back in 1960. So whenever I see, overpasses and highways, I think about the old Jetsons cartoon, because that was the first time I'd ever seen that concept of a road over another road.
Well, they predicted the future, right?
They did.
Good. Okay, so and teacher Liv wrote an important thing, so it's called guard rail, right? Guard rail, and it's important to protect pedestrians from this traffic and everything. So that's why it's metal. It's kind of resilient, right? So it can protect in a way.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Which one? Angel, would you like to describe this one? Or I can change the slide if you don't want.
Yeah. This is once they gathered to meet Vic. Those are assailants, I think, and they're trying to teach Arisa how disarm people or taking out the knife from their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And not this place. This is a store, something. I see pipes, I guess.
Ventilation, probably. Yeah.
When they're square, that's an air duct. So that's ventilation.
Mm-hmm.
Ventilation.
We don't use square pipes for liquids. Liquids, they're always circular. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what is close to the wall? Red lights, or what is this? Some shelves. Looks strange.
I can't tell. It's weird looking.
Yeah.
This almost looks like a basement because you can see all the pipes in the overhead.
Yes.
You can see a sprinkler system. What's a sprinkler system for?
I don't know.
To sprinkle water, maybe, if there was a fire.
Fire protection, yep.
Yes.
You see there's a pipe with little things sticking up. That's a sprinkler system. If a fire were to break out, they would activate and spray water and put out the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perhaps it's a warehouse or something like this, so it's logical.
Are those bodyguards? Those who are wearing black suits?
They demonstrated the knife defense technique, remember? So they were demonstrators.
Assailants? You call them assailants, I guess. So.
Assailants. An attacker is an assailant. Now, if you look at one of the overhead pipes, it looks kind of silver and shiny.
Yeah.
That is insulation. That means that whatever's in that pipe is hot.
Yep, exactly.
And we put insulation around it, so if you touch it, you don't burn yourself. When I was involved in building a nuclear plant in Taiwan, I was having to climb pipes to investigate things as part of my job over there. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these insulated pipes were everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached up and grabbed a pipe, and the insulation had been removed. And when I grabbed that pipe, it was 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and I burned my hand so bad that it hurt continuously for 24 hours. I had to keep my hand in ice water for 24 hours because as soon as I removed my hand from the ice water, so that insulation is extremely important.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Woo.
Yeah, okay. So, but you know, now we have this device, how it called, infravision or something. So we don't expect pipes anymore. We just point our device on it and we say, no, there is a warmer point than others. So probably the leak is here. I said.
Yeah, we have those. We didn't have those in the old days, but we have them now. Yeah.
Okay. Good. So which one do you prefer, Nesma? With a boy or with a chef?
Yeah, I like this one.
Okay.
With the chef.
That is funny.
To be honest, I believe this is implied from from Arisa, because a smart bot, would offer given advice or tips or not. So when somebody makes a mistake in a recipe or something, she should say, well, I've got a better way to do this recipe. Otherwise, she wouldn't just do this like that. I don't know. So that wasn't so smart. I didn't expect that from her. She looked like any other bot to me in this scene. And also, I didn't understand. She knows all the recipes possible in Russia. So Allah's point was a little vague for me here. Teaching Arisa to do what? She knows everything. So
yeah, I agree with you. It was absolutely strange mission, you know. So it's like, you know, this bot can know the whole Wikipedia in it, right? In one chip.
yeah.
So what you're going to teach her? I don't understand.
Remember, Allah tried to justify that. Well, you're used to cooking for 4 people. You might have to cook for 50 people. You can't do that. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Exactly. Okay, some shelves with glasses, I guess. It's glasses.
Mhm.
On the left, I can see some bottles. What else? And on the countertop, is it a countertop? I don't know. We have a sausage and I don't know, paprika and something else.
Okay. For the ladies, that on the counter is a piece of wood.
Yeah.
What is that piece of wood for? Do you know?
Chopping.
We call it a cutting block.
Oh, all right.
It's so you don't damage the counter. So she's got a cutting board and a knife, and so she would chop the sausage into pieces, and it might damage the wooden board, but it won't damage the countertop. So that's a device you can buy for the kitchen. We call them cutting boards.
Yeah, and it's also good to protect the knife, you know. Nowadays people use glass boards, which is stupid because, you know, you just have to sharpen your knife, you know, every time, every day after this.
Yeah, a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and the white collar, right? So it's a traditional. I think it's many countries. So chefs and cooks, they have white uniform.
Okay.
She missed wearing something on her head as well.
Exactly, Nesma. So it's impossible to have this, you know, haircut on the kitchen. So you should have some, I don't know what.
She couldn't dress that cover because she has a beautiful hair, as she thinks.
Okay. I see your point.
In America, we require women to wear like a hair net.
Yep.
And that keeps loose hair from falling into people's food.
Exactly. Okay. Sergey, what about this one?
This is a bar inside the nightclub, and a lot of people, and we can see bartender, sexual bartender, Arisa sits very sexual. He demonstrates legs and patient attention for this man, and man tries to explain about his problems, and he beat me, and and yes, I understand you. Please buy more, drink more, and go home. Yeah, it's it is a typical scene of from the 1,000 movies inside the club, inside the bartender.
And there was actually a small humorous moment when Igor said, Arisa, let's go. What did she do to the customer?
She was. Yeah.
She said, bye. Instead of just walking away, she looked at him, smiled, said bye, and then turned around and walked away. So a small kindness to the customer. I thought that was cute.
Exactly. But I never seen this scene in real life. So a bartender usually, work hard. They have no time for you usually. Maybe in old times, when we had a few bartenders, it's possible. But nowadays, you usually waiting for bartender to get your order, and it's not speaking about talking or something.
Yeah, in my experience shows me that a lot of people outside the bar, and they call bartender, please go me. Give me some cocktails, and I don't know where is bartender has to opportunity to connect with people at ski.
I think that. It differs from country to country, depend of the cost of labor. So if you go to Marrakesh, to Asia, you will have 3 waiters around you, But if you go, let's say in Germany, there will be 1 waiter for the whole hall,
This scene did have one thing that kind of surprised me. It showed that Igor can be capable. He jumped up on the bar and said, everybody, there's too many customers. We're going to organize. She's doing cocktails. I'm doing beer. She's doing tea and water and coffee. So he actually organized chaos, in a moment. So I was impressed by that.
Yep. Okay, the last one. Vasant, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, this is where final, they say that exercise or something, a trial. Yeah, to check her ability. She didn't hurt. No, she didn't want to hurt Georgy because he is her boss or something. So she didn't want him to get hurt. So the policeman decided to let his friend, who is so much interested in boxing, and he wanted a powerful opponent in order to compete. So that entertains him. So then he let him fight with the bot. The bot immediately hurt him and almost took off his prosthetic hand.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he had a prosthetic hand, not a real one.
Okay, what else we can see is here benches, right? So it's a benches.
Weightlifting equipment, weightlifting benches.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the punching bags?
On the left, right?
Black punching bags. Okay.
And Sergey, maybe so can you see this metal chain on the top of the ring? in the angles of this ring. So I don't think
I understand, but I think maybe it's for the change the type of rings.
So you can just like in circus, right? You can remove this guard rails, the rails, right, to make it different. This is the
I think maybe they remove the boxing ring and they put the ring for fight.
I see.
Wrestling.
So the whole ring can be attached to the sailing, right? So they just remove it to save space, I think.
Okay.
Strange, but possible.
Okay. So we call this fighting area a boxing ring.
Mm-hmm.
It has guardrails around it. We just call those the rails. The floor is called the mat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're knocked to the mat, you're knocked flat, you're down on the mat. If someone's banging you and you're pushed against the guardrails, we say you're on the rails, which means you're defending yourself. You know, you're backing up, and you're on the guardrails. You're losing the fight if you're on the rails. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are some of the terms you might.
Yeah, it's very
when you take a break, normally in a boxing ring, you go to one opposite corners, right? You rest, you drink water, you get a towel and wipe the sweat off your face. You know, if you throw your towel into the center of the ring, you throw the towel. That means you surrender, you quit, you give up. So if you throw your towel down or, toss your towel down, that means you surrender.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah. So you call it boxing ring, right? With J at the end. But I remember it was a hockey rink with K, or I'm mistaken?
Okay, this is ring.
Okay.
Boxing ring.
Mm-hmm.
Not a skating rink.
Rink. Okay.
Yeah. Rink is square or rectangular. I don't know why we call this a ring, but we call it a boxing ring.
Yeah, I see. So I was surprised that it's kind of similar, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for coming for this discussion. Let's call it a day for today, and let's see next episode on the next weekend, right? Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Ring.